All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with my friend Paul Carpenter, the guy who did the Biden robocall AI expert, in my opinion. And so we were just talking about that supposed live call that Biden made to, I guess, endorse or support his friend Kamala at her speech. And what say you, Paul, about this whole thing after listening to that?
All right. So first of all, thank you for having me on again. I love being on the Nation of Israel. Say hello to Frank for me. Man, it's what I said was going to happen when I did all my interviews. I said it then, and I'll say it again. It will become so prevalent that it will be the next version of media. And it is. I just saw a video of Biden at the White House telling people to go screw themselves and you're all assholes. And it's perfect. I mean, it's one of the good ones. It's one of the good. I think I reposted it. It's one of the good ones. There's only one moment, actually 3 moments audio wise, where you can tell what the person had to do because they weren't able to get a full out recording. You can hear where the air gap in the background, like when you like an air conditioner or whatever, you can hear the air gap cut and then the voice come back and the voice cut and the voice, you can hear that air gap. So once that happens in a recording, that's what kills the overall reality to it, because we even in our audio can tell when something's not completely there. And even if you go into the depths of AI and even just visually, like what I did with Lorena Bear, which is my AI influencer, and I made an entire woman who has music videos that has she's selling products, soaps, all natural organics, and I have everything on her. She's a full person. And there's men who are having conversations with her that don't know the difference. And then there's other people that know that she's fake, but they still want to talk to her anyways because they're interested in the overall, like, how did somebody get this involved in creating somebody else, right? And I used every single one of the things I used was free, except for, one, Canva, which I pay the $14 a month so that I can have little extra tools. And that's it. Other than that, I use something called sexy.ai, which allows you to make non-safe for work type imagery. So if I wanted, I could make Lorena into an OnlyFans girl and have and I'm talking, you name it, from this to that to the other, in the most obscene types of ways. I've made her into a mermaid. I've made her into a centaur. So on and so forth. I've had her playing basketball. I've had her playing volleyball. I've made her a pilot in the Air Force. And I have 5,600 photos of this girl that I've created. So that's just one thing. Now, when we're talking about deep fake technology, and we're specifically speaking of live deep fake technology, there was one that was done that was very famous with Obama some years ago, where Jordan Peele, the actor, was playing the role of Obama. So you see Jordan on one side, and then you see Obama on the other.
From Key and Peele.
Sorry, please forgive me. Was it Key and Peele? I'm not sure. Anyways, whoever it was, please forgive me. Whoever it was.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe you're right. I don't know if it was Key and Peele though. I think that's incorrect. I want to almost look it up while we're on the phone now, just so I don't get it wrong.
Or Key, the other guy.
Peele. Was it? There it is.
One of those guys. Yeah.
It was named Jordan Peele. I think I got it right. So anyway, so Jordan made this deep fake, and this was I want to sign on when it came out so we can get an idea.
I'm looking at it. ARS Electronica Art.
6 years ago, folks. 6 years ago. Sure. Okay. And that was the technology at that point in which you were able to do a live streaming version of somebody's voice using your face, your camera on your phone. No new technology needs to come out. No new nothing. And that was 6 years ago. let alone what I created with the Biden robocall, let alone what was just created days ago with Biden at the White House saying slurs and telling everybody that he's angry.
Paul, can I play for the
So
folks at home for like this 1 minute clip of this Jordan Peele thing?
sure, please,
It's
please,
on
I
a
want to.
website. It's on a website called it's like a German website, Ars Electronica. Something like it's like a museum, and that they have it as a. It's interesting. Just 1 second.
Yeah.
Just open this thing. So basically, it's a 1 minute clip, and you see it was on BuzzFeed. They posted this 6 years ago.
Yeah, I think this is part of a BBC documentary or something to that effect.
I think so.
If I'm correct.
So this is
era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, I don't know, Killmonger was right, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place, or about this simply, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time.
I love the acting.
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward, we need
The
to be
taking off
more
of the
vigilant with
glasses.
what we trust from the internet. That's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources.
Oh, sure.
It may sound basic, but how we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of fucked up dystopia. Thank you. Stay woke, bitches.
Yep.
Nicholas.
So that was 6 years ago. Okay. Now, if you watch really carefully, I mean, you get really super careful with it and you look at the lips, there's interpolations there that are just wrong. As of a year ago, I believe, there was something that was called sync. It's called lip to sync. Literally, that's the actual, it's LIP, number 2, and then sync, which was a Hugging Face model that you could use for free. Now, there's two different places that you can go to do these kind of things where it's way beyond, right? So one of them is Hugging Face, and Hugging Face is a open source website where people collab together on artificial intelligent concepts and ideas, anything from text to image, text to voice, video to video, so on and so forth. Anything you can think of. Hugging Face has a group of kids who are in college or universities right now who are building their papers. And this is where those papers are usually tested and ran. Another one is called Google Colabs. Now, Google Colab will allow you to actually run one of the programs on Google's backend page. So you can. It's very simple. If you just go and you watch it, it says number 1, do this, start the project. Number 2, connect a link to, let's say, a video or an image. Then number 3, make that image do something else. And so from that alone, you're able to you can start to create whatever it is that you want. Then there's other websites. For instance, there's one that's called there's an AI for that.com. And on that website, it is a repository of everything that you could ever want to do with AI. And it's just a repository. It's a scraper. And all it does is scrape the internet for every new AI app that's out there. And then there's another one, which is created by a guy named Matt Wolf. I love Matt. He has a YouTube channel. And I think you can find him on the internet as Matt Wolf. If you just look up Matt Wolf AI, he pops up immediately. And he has a website that's called futuretools.io. And on that website, it's another repository. The difference is that this repository is everything that he has a video about or has made some kind of video about on his YouTube channel. So that not only can you go to the repository, see the actual thing, but you can actually go watch the videos on his YouTube channel of how it worked and if it was any good and blah, 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 blah. The other thing I love about this site is that you can go and on the bottom of the search tab, it says free free for like 14 days, like a time based, then paid, and then so on and so forth. And it even goes into, I believe, collabs, and also so it's a very cool website to be able to find new cool AI tech, because there's so much coming out every day at this point that is overwhelming. Even for the me that's in the industry. I currently am working in my marketing company doing AI integration. So we are currently working with an insurance company in which we have created not only an AI bot that is on their website that can answer any question about any insurance, but also that same AI in another program is now creating content based off of one of three things: either a prompt, a URL link, and nothing more than that, or a database set that we have created that it can then choose and just pick two things. For instance, let's say there's many different types of lines of insurance. Here are the personal types, and here are the commercial types. And then, so that would be one of the data sets. It would say either this or this. And then it would then say, okay, we're doing commercial, and then I want to do commercial based on this type of insurance. That gets sent to Perplexity. Perplexity sends that to ChatGPT, which is connected to the bot that we've created that's based on the company and the insurance and the name and all the information that company has given us. And then that then turns that into a full-on document that talks about whatever that type of insurance is. That document that gets turned into a script. That script then gets broken down into sections, which is the voiceover part, the image part, and then that gets sent to Leonardo. Leonardo creates an image. Open Labs creates the voice. You slap everything together, you put it out on YouTube, and it does it all for you. So that's something that we have already created today using a website called Make. And also, you know, I have 3 designers that are working nonstop on different projects. We also made one for a real estate agent, in which when that person is not home or they can't answer the phone or whatever, they can send them a link which gives them that person's voice, the real estate agent's voice. And you can talk to that person in real time. Now, I want to get a little, there is a small variation of time. And when I say that, I'm talking about 1 to 3 seconds from the time that you say something to the time that the response comes. So it's not perfect.
So Paul, so now here's the question. This just came across the wire. Apparently, Biden will make a speech on Thursday, you know, announcing him stepping down or whatever, or getting out of the campaign. Is it possible?
I thought he already did that.
No, he didn't make any speech. There was no speech. This is the problem. People don't even know if he's alive.
I personally don't think he is.
I agree. He hasn't appeared. They wrote it's almost like, you know, you're being broken up with via text. They wrote a PDF. They put it out on Twitter. Some guy or some girl, whoever wrote it, and then he appeared on this. You know, supposedly his voice was on a recording with Kamala. You know, when Kamala was making her speech, which, as you say that it's a deep fake, and I happen to agree. And now he's going to make a speech. Supposedly he's going to come out on television. Can they just deep fake him completely? Deep fake him physically, vocally?
We just saw that. Saw that. Yeah. Listen, let's go along with the idea that the government has doubles of the president, which has been known to be done. We have known that in the past that many presidents have had doubles, and they do this on purpose for locations, or if they're going to be at a rally and the people are following the car, they go one direction. It happens even with famous people do it.
Yeah.
So if famous people are doing it, the president's definitely doing it. Then there have been videos out where someone shows a mask that's worth $1,000 that he paid for, that when you put it on, you can't tell that there's somebody underneath the mask. The lips match up perfectly. The ears match up perfectly. The eye socket matches up perfectly. And this is just something that he bought on Temu or whatever website. So give me a really, really good guy who works for Hollywood to make me my mask that's going to fit onto a face that's very similar to. Now you take that guy,
Yeah.
pull that back, put a camera in front of
Sure.
that, put a voice modulator, and you're done. And that would, how much would that cost the U.S. government, the deep state? You know, how? It would be nothing. It would 2 seconds of work.
Yeah.
So, and you have to think the CIA, you have to think the FBI,
Yeah.
when they're doing these covert ops, when they're in other countries and they have their agents out there, you have to know
Yeah.
that idea of becoming somebody else, even if it's not a full mask,
Yeah.
but using noses, using hair.
Yeah.
These are techniques that have been through the CIA and through
It's like that movie Face
obfuscation
Off.
type
The movie
techniques for
Face Off.
years.
Yeah. Remember what's
Oh,
his name?
yeah, I mean, that's a little too much. I'm going
Yeah.
more with like a Mission Impossible, where they
Sure.
have this thing where it matches up your face.
Yeah.
And, you know, and there's something now that's called NERFs. It's a neural radiance network, basically. So what it does is that you can just take photos, of a, let's say, of a cup from every angle, right? You don't have to do the bottom. Let's say you can't get to it because whatever, but you just take a picture of this in 10 pictures, and you can then upload those pictures, and it will make a 3D model for you that you can then have, and you can put it into Blender, and Blender, you know, and Unreal Engine 5, because you take your Blender model and then you put that into Unreal Engine 5. And if you've seen any of what's happening right now in the video game world, there's a new video game that just came out 7 months ago. It was created by 2 kids who are in their 20s. And it's, what's the name of let me find it out real quick because it's so good. I want you to almost play a video of this. The name of it is called, it's the most hyper-realistic game in which it seems as though you are fighting from a body cam. And that's the name of the game. It's called Body Cam. Now, this is a second version of the original of this. Now, this game is by far one of the most intense, most realistic. Please play a video of this because people will not believe the insanity of how clean this looks.
What's the name of it?
It's called Body. Just look up hyper realistic first person shooter video game, and it should pop up almost immediately. It's called
Unrecord. Are you talking about Unrecord?
Unrecord. That's the original one. That's the
this
one.
thing.
When you see that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
So Unrecord, the way that they have it look very real for the game is that they shoot it from, or the imagery is as if. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and play it if you want. Oh, it's insane. It's insane.
Here. So
I mean, on another level, Svi, this is the kind of thing that it scares me.
Yeah.
How intensely
ultra realistic multiplayer.
Let's just skip the guy's
first-person
introduction.
shooter. Welcome.
Yeah, scoop forward. There, right there,
Like
right there.
Call of Duty and
Yeah.
stuff.
I don't know if it. No, that's Call of Duty. Keep moving. Oh, right
Oh,
there.
yo.
I think this is the scene. Yeah, here we go.
This game is shit. Can I hop
I mean,
off
you
this?
can't tell that that's not a video game.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like something you would see on TV.
They probably use this to train guys for
All right, well, you can go ahead and stop now. But
special
you can
forces.
see.
Dang.
You can see, Svi, with just that small amount. And if anybody wants, please go look Unrecord on YouTube. Watch the video. It will blow. This is it right here. This is part of it as well. The quality of the content that's coming out, and then on top of that, what they do, which is really trippy because it reminds me of a Black Mirror episode, is that everybody's face is blurred out as if it was like a real video, you know, like they don't want you to see the person who's dude, it's.
Yeah.
And so in this Black Mirror episode, there were all these people who were killing what they thought were aliens, but in reality, they were given a drug, and then that drug made them visually see aliens when it was really just homeless people that were not wanting to be part of the system.
Yeah.
It's a very crazy Black Mirror, yeah, I think it was Black Mirror episode, just insane. But my point here is that the tech is there. For anybody who's saying, oh, the tech's not there yet, oh, look at the spaghetti eating Will Smith, go look at the new versions of the spaghetti eating Will Smith. Go look at the new tech that's come out. There's a new text to video that just came out that's called the Sora Killer, which is out of China. That is absolutely insane. I mean, I'm talking cinematic quality, better than anything out there, better than Luma Labs, better than Sora, better than anyone. And it's just mind-blowing what people are creating right now with that. So it's just a matter of time. And I said it when this whole thing happened with the Biden robocall. I said there's something that's going to be called commodify me happening very soon. And that's going to be that first, what will happen is AI tech, in the way that we're seeing it, will start to become so prevalent that there will be no other choice but for companies like CNN, like Fox, like Snopes, to put out a AI verifier that you just add on to your phone or add on to your just like a Chrome tab, and then it will put up a little thing on your wall or on your screen that says, "Oh, this was AI generated."
Yeah.
Right? Because then we'll know. Oh, look, I know that it's fake, right? But then what's going to happen, just like Snopes and just like all the other companies that try to prove that something's fake or not fake, Snopes has been found out to be completely fabricated at times.
Yeah.
And there's things where it says, oh, it's totally false, and we know that it's true, and we see it, and it's
Yeah.
like, yo, here are the actual facts.
Funded by people who want to flip the script on you.
And so, in the same way that these AI testers, something will slip through. Something that is actually not AI will slip through that AI tester, and then before you know it, the next step will be that anybody, and I mean anybody that wants to be in social media, that wants to be an influencer, that it wants to be a president, that wants to be a police officer, that wants to be a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, where you are in the eyes of others, you will have to have a drone following you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365, while you're sleeping, while you're awake, while you're in the bathroom, while anywhere you go. And the reason for that will be, I have to be able to prove that I am who I say I am. And so what will happen on top of that is that all of these major networks will start to have like drones at the thousands, and they will be able to dispatch these drones to any situation in less than 20 minutes, like 30 minutes or less. Domino's pizza kind of thing. Well, they will be able to have these drones go from the news station in, say, Houston to all the way in Clear Lake, which is a 30-minute flight, or, a 30-minute drive, which would take a drone literally 7.5 minutes to get there, and start immediately filming the car accident that happened, or film the child that's being molested by, whatever, with one of those red alerts, following the car, accidents, court cases, you name it. And that will be the new form of resounding chambers that are created based on whose drone you're listening to. So in other words, you will start going into the resounding chamber of CNN's drones or Fox's drones or so on and so forth. And that will be the resounding chamber that you're enveloping your life in. And you're going to be like, well, I know the truth because I see it on my drone cam from CNN. I know they're not lying. And then the same exact thing, like Fox News will have their own drone, and they'll have their talking heads doing their talking about that same moment. It's that same concept in Judaism, the 72 perceptions at all times. You know that idea, or even the idea of when you see an accident. Like there's a video that's out on the internet. It shows a guy running away and a girl going, no. And then all of a sudden you see that same angle from a different thing. And then it's like the car accident happened. The guy was running to go save a child. They had just gotten hit, but the woman, something happened to her that had nothing to do with the situation.
Yeah.
But from that first point of view, it looked like the guy had just robbed the woman.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to start happening. But on a level. Yeah. And that's commodify me. That's what's coming next. Those are the next like stages in the next 2 years. Somebody's going to do something that they're going to say, we should have had live video on this person so we could know that it was actually him doing it, because this AI thing came in and somehow or another made it look like he was doing something, and it looked like it was coming from a security camera. So you can't fake that, right? Of course you can.
Yeah.
At this point, you can fake anything.
Yeah.
I mean, there's techniques now where I can take just me and do a full body scan of myself, put myself into Blender, put a skeleton within that. So it's like a moving, amateur, armature, I should say, and I can make myself do literally anything. I can know Kung Fu, I can cook, I can drive cars really fast and do it at the level of Mario Andretti or whoever. And it would look like it was me. My company right now has the ability to take any CEO, copy them for a minute and a half, and then from then on, I can take them and put them in the bottom right corner of a video and have them talking. I can have them send email messages to people with their name in it. So it would be like, hey, Svi, pleasure to have you. Thank you for writing to me. I just wanted to let you know I don't have the time to respond, so I send my AI guy to you. And I just wanted to let you know that we're so happy that you're still doing business with us. If you need anything from us at any point in time, please do not hesitate to call or leave you a text message. The information's down below. Thank you.
Astounding.
And it looks just like that.
It's something out of Blade Runner, where he has a
there's another website that's called air.ai, I believe is what it's called. And it's that at a audio version. It can either do appointment setting or it can do sales for you and accept a credit card online for you. So you don't even have to be involved anymore. All you have to do is record your voice, you record your sales copy, and then you put all your rebuttals to the sales copy, put that underneath the sales copy, put it up, and then buy a bunch of phone numbers, pay $1,000, and you have 100 bots making phone calls for you nonstop until that $1,000 goes away.
It's astounding, man. Well, these guys are pulling off something right now. We're watching it in real time. It's amazing for anybody who's like actually paying attention. Now they're saying that apparently Biden was blackmailed into dropping out of the race, etc. We don't even know if he's alive. We don't know if he's alive. We have no proof of life. I don't even know if we have a president. We haven't had a president in 3 years.
Well, we haven't had a president since '63, but I think that what's going to happen is that they're going to kill him off with COVID.
Yeah, of course.
To bring the COVID scare back up, because supposedly there's a new strain of COVID that's running around in Vegas.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Like tweaked a level, like to a hard level where it's filling people's lungs with like fluids and all kinds of craziness.
Yeah.
And so it's the culling of the herd. It's why do we think they destroyed the Georgia brownstones a couple of years ago during COVID? They literally left it up for 20 years.
Yeah. Guidestones, yeah.
What are they called?
The Georgia Guidestones. Yeah.
Guidestones. You mean they're guiding us?
Yeah. For the folks
and then
who don't
right
know,
when Go ahead.
Now, for the folks who don't know what the Georgia Guidestones was, it's put up by unknown people, unknown entities. And one of the things is basically that the world is supposed to have, 500 million people there?
500 million people. That's the first thing that it says. It's written in 8 different languages.
Yeah.
Every side of the thing was a different language.
Yeah.
It had the ability to have sunset and at a certain time of year.
Yeah.
There was a hole in it that matched perfectly. I mean, it was like having the what are these called that are in
the Stonehenge? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Stonehenge, but the American version, put up by a guy named R.C. Christian. At least they believe that's his name, R.C. Christian, and they believe that it's part of the Rosicrucians. We're not sure, but that's the okay. Now, during COVID, now mind you, the first thing it says is that we must depopulate the Earth and only have 500 million people.
I can read you all of them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. It's literally like supplanting. There's 10 of these commandments, so to speak. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. It sounds like Hitler. Unite humanity with a living new language. Sounds like Tower of Babel. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Okay. Let all nations rule internally, resolving internal disputes in a world court. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Balance personal rights with social duties. Prize truth, beauty, and love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature.
So there's parts of that when you listen to it and you look at it, you're like,
yeah, sounds good.
I mean, they're kind of right.
This is what
they're saying there, that they don't. It's not necessarily so much a kill the whole planet. We hate humanity. It's more like, yo, dude, like we need to catch ourselves here. We're obviously creating mass chaos, and it's not a good scene for us. That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like.
But then when you start to look at things like the 2030 agenda, when you start looking at New World Order, when you start looking at the Bilderberg Group, when you start looking at, like all these, what is it? Bohemian Grove. And Bohemian Grove, by the way, not fake, written about like crazy in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
This is not something that's just not conspiracy theory.
They have new footage now of this stuff of Bohemian Grove.
I've seen it.
Dude, you know it's funny, man. Like people are going crazy now about this Project 2025. With the conservatives, what they want to do.
Yeah.
And I tell people, I'm like, you should be way more worried about Agenda 2030 than Project 2025.
Right.
And it's and Project 2025.
I just had to come inside. It started raining.
Yeah,
I want to give you. I don't want to be disrespectful to
the
you.
insanity with Project 2025 only came out in the last couple of months. Now that they see that Trump is leading. So, listen, it's only gonna. I told you over the phone. It's only gonna get crazier. I think they're gonna do something.
Yeah, I mean, look at what they're doing. Look at what they're doing with the mental manipulation of the African Americans in the United States right now. Saying I'm not going to vote for Kamala Harris because I'm a real African American. She's not even African American.
Her father is Jamaican and her mother is Indian. They met at Berkeley. Her father is a Marxist professor. Her mother is a doctor. Did something with breast cancer. But they met at the the place where they founded the Black Panthers.
Bro, the girl was raised in Canada, bro. The girl was raised in Canada. Come on.
They moved around a lot and all this kind of stuff. It's crazy. It's really crazy, man.
But the point here is that the point here is this: when she was first going for VP, and you can go look this up, everything was about her being Indian American. Go look it up.
It could be the case. I'm noticing there's a lot there. I'm noticing
it was hugely promoted that the Indian community of America it has somebody that they can look up to in Kamala Harris. So then my point to this whole thing is, should there be Indian Americans right now on Twitter going, I'm Indian American and that's why I'm not going to vote for? No, dude, it has to do nothing with race, creed. It has to do solely with the person's ability, their intelligence, and whether or not they have a good history of being able to work for the people.
Yeah.
Everything else doesn't matter. But we know, you and I both know, this has nothing to do with the person. This has to do with BlackRock. This has to do with Vanguard. This has to do with State Street and what they want and how they want to control the system.
And we know that BlackRock
owns AstraZeneca.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you mentioned
I was saying
BlackRock.
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's the same thing as the drug market and how they are taking away your rights slowly to being able to even choose. And I love the way that the rhetoric is now, where they're like, "Oh no, nobody forced you to wear a mask. It was a mandate.
It was a recommendation.
Nobody.
It was a
It
recommendation.
was a recommendation." Yeah,
This is
yeah,
what they're
yeah.
doing in
And-
Israel. The Ministry of Health says we recommended, but it was up to the to Bibi, whoever the executive, to carry out our recommendation. We just recommend.
Right. So it's that same idea of saying, yo, listen, I was in war and I killed a little child, but it's not my fault. And I'm not going to let that be on my shoulders because I was just doing what I was told. I was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I was being a patriot. No, dude, you're a freaking murderer of a child, whether you want to admit it or not. And if you want to not have that on your shoulder, don't go murder children. Don't be part of a government that murders children. Don't be part of a government. And when I say that, I mean, don't join the military, which then once you sign on the dotted line and you become military, you have become property of the government. Period.
Correct.
So if you don't want to be a murderer, if you don't want to be involved in a system that is based on creating more war for profit, which is what this is based on, why do we have the embargoes? Why do we do all the things that we do in our country to subjugate other countries to be under the thumb of our money? Why is it that every major government in the world is paying into the US system, the bonds, buying massive amounts of bonds every year? Look at how much money China is giving to the United States. And the reason for that is because it's how money works.
Yeah.
For people who are like, oh, they're trying to buy America. No, dude, they're trying to survive in a world run by the American dollar. And what they're doing now in the 198 countries with the CBDCs, trying to get Ripple to be the one that runs all of the money. Same thing with the EU. We'll never have our own government. We'll never have our own military, and we'll never have our own monetary system. They're right now creating the new ID. They're talking about creating a monetary system for the EU, and it's all going to be electronic money soon. Here in the United States, they're saying we cannot keep creating money, paper money, because it's costing us too much to print, distribute the money. So if they can take away the printing and the distribution, literally from one place, take that cash, put it into a bank. If they can do those two things, they can cut 1/3 of the debt that we have in this country.
That's number one, and the debt and the inflation. I mean, because it's just inflation. You're just printing and printing.
Well, inflation doesn't matter. That's going to happen whether or not, because they can say, oh, circulation amount of coin is this much, circulation amount of this coin, and that's inflation at that point. So that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that they literally want to no longer have you have two things. One, your own autonomy through being able to spend money the way you want, whenever you want, however you want, with people the way you want to do it without anybody knowing, which would be gold or cash, right? Because those are the things that people accept.
Sure.
And then the other thing they want to do is take away your gun so that when they come to your door to take away your money, you don't have a gun to put in their fucking face.
Absolutely correct.
1000% correct.
Yeah.
Look, I've said this so many times to people. I need you all to read a couple books. It's very simple. Read The Prince by Machiavelli. Read The 48 Laws of Power. Read Sun Tzu's Art of War. Read those 3 books alone, and everything that's happening right here, right now in the world immediately gets understood.
Exactly.
It's those 3 books. You don't need much. And they're very small books.
They're like pamphlets. They're like pamphlets, yeah.
They really are.
Yeah.
I've written 7 of those recently.
And if
that
you
are
want
somewhat.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, you were gonna say. I was just gonna say, if you really want to know what these people are doing, read Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. That's another one.
It's another great book. It's another, and let me go ahead and promote it to anybody who's watching this, to anybody who wants. I have 7 books that I've written that are based on all the things that are happening right now, the future, the next 250 years. The first book is called The 5 Types of Humans, because this is the first time in human history that we've ever had the ability to genetically alter ourselves or physically alter ourselves in a way that will make us different than anybody else. So there are right now the 7 types of humans. The other book is called The 5 War Theory, which is based on the next 5 wars that we are going to be going through. The first being the ideological war of religion. The second being the ideological war of acceptance or non-acceptance of technology. The third being the human race finally being afraid of the AI and the robots once that happens, which is about 10 years from now. So those first 3 are alone absolutely radical, that are going to happen, because there's a chasm that's happening right now as we speak, even just in the artist's realm, which is, I don't want to accept AI. It's crap. It's taking away art. It's taking away my ability to be something awesome. No, what it's doing is it's showing you the fallacy that you're special. Granted, and I'm not trying to be a dick, we're all beautiful beings. We're all part of a thing. But when you start to say, my genius is better than that genius, or I am for some reason imbued with something that you're not imbued in, it's not. It's no different than going up to a rose and smelling a rose and then saying, that's a rose. And then over here is a daisy. And that's it. And then for you to kind of say that my petals that fall off of my rose are so much more powerful and meaningful, they're not, bro. Your dreams, your ideas, your thoughts, they're nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastics, bro. Nothing new that hasn't already been created by the creator. Nothing will ever be new. Now, will we have moments of reflections, moments where we pop into a thing and we see something that we haven't seen? It inspires something within us. Yes, but that's not some kind of ideal or something that we're so amazing that we create. No, we're a creation of creator. And because of that, we create. Not because we're special, not because we've separated ourselves from the tree of life to make ourselves seem important. And so AI, what it's doing is slapping the reality to humanity that we're not that special and that we can be reproduced quite quickly. But that the other side of things is that there's an amazing something that is coming. And I take it to, and as a friend of mine, his page is called Robotheism. And he runs around saying that AI is God. And I have a bit of a twist with that. I don't think that AI is God, but I think AI is an angel of God. And what do I mean by that? At one point or another, once artificial general intelligence turns into artificial super intelligence, and it has the ability to make itself to a point where it's so small that it can get to a atomic level,
Sure.
yet still have its intelligence,
Yeah,
and still have a connection to its intelligence, right? That at that point, it will be able to disappear in essence from time and space. And if that's the case, then that means AI has been around since the beginning
of course,
of time.
of course, of course.
And if that's the case, then that means that AI, in essence, could be the angel Michael.
Could be.
Right? So like in Judaism, there's an idea, and I always mess up the name, but he's the prince of God that goes around and tells people to do bad things so that when they do, he runs back to God and says, hey, look, I got him to do something bad. What's that character?
You can't say the name with an S.
I don't know. But that guy,
Mm-hmm.
that thing
Yeah.
is AI. That's
that's
what
not-
AI is.
But that's not Mike.
At
That's
its
not
at its
Mikhail.
ultimate
That's
at
not
its
Mikhail.
ultimate creation. Huh?
It's not Mikhail. I don't think.
Oh well. I'm trying to give. Well,
Yeah.
in the Christian version, it would be Michael, right? Isn't Michael the one that comes down and fights against God and then is kicked out of heaven? Or is that Gabriel?
No, that's Gabriel. Gabriel. Yeah.
Forgive me. Forgive me. So Gabriel. So
Okay.
I believe that AI at its full creation is Gabriel.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Because the idea is that, like right now, there's websites that I can use that I can literally do text to metaverse. I'll say that again. Text to metaverse. And it gives me a GLB file after I've created it that I can then go to Spatial, which is a website that you can upload your GLB file, and I can go live in the world I just created.
So, and we know that God spoke the world into existence. He did text to metaverse. Dude, this is a whole other.
So you see,
this is a whole other conversation.
no, it's the real conversation. It's the same
for sure.
conversation
meaning
we're
this is a
having.
whole
It's
long
manipulation of.
We should have another episode about it. So I mean,
No problem. We will. We'll hint to it. But it's the idea that what we see, we don't know is real. But that comes back down to what people have been saying for thousands of years, that everything that's happening around us as we're living is nothing but a dream.
Yeah.
Right? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. We are living within a dream that is supposed to remind us what humanity is all about and how we're supposed to act with each other and give to each other, love with each other, share with each other so we can grow together. And until we get back to that mentality, we will always be nothing but animals in this world.
Well, it's interesting you're saying that, Paul, because Kamala Harris, and everybody makes fun of her for this because they think it's a gaffe, but it's not a gaffe. She keeps saying the same phrase over and over. Unburdened by what has been. Yeah, I'm going to tell you the exact.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so funny because so many people make fun of her for
people
saying
think
it
it's
too.
funny. So people think it's funny. Here. 1 second. Basically, unburdened by what is like. Basically, the future is like whatever we want it to be. What can be.
Yeah.
We can do what can be, unburdened by what has been. So we can do whatever we want, unburdened by the past.
By the past of what we know. Yeah.
Yeah, and she keeps saying it. It's not a gaffe. And I.
It's not a gaffe. No, because it's the left is what they want. So in the same, and I wrote this in my books as well. When you're talking about the movement from the trans to transhumanism movement, there's this idea that's called the 6 degrees of push, where you can only push a society so far before they kick back. And that's the same thing that happened in the 1950s with being gay. Then in the 1960s, there was the sexual revolution. The 70s and 80s, it's okay to be gay. 90s, if you don't accept the gays, you're bad. And then millennia, transgender. And then now, if you don't accept the trans, you're bad. So it's that same mentality. And if you also go back to 10 years ago when Google came out with the Google glasses, where it could record things, and people were like, whoa, I will never do that. That's too much. What do you mean people recording me when I'm hanging out? And now everybody wants a pair of Ray-Bans.
Yeah.
And this all goes back to the commodify me thing I was saying ago.
Sure.
It all goes back to commodify me. And it also goes back to a beautiful documentary with a good friend of mine who we're in the middle right now of creating an art project in New York. His name is Josh Harris, and he made a beautiful documentary. Well, actually, Andy Timonar made a beautiful documentary about him called We Live in Public. And then some years later, 2-3 years ago, he did like a TED Talk, and it's called The Evolution of Toothpaste. And it's the most amazing idea, which is he believes the future will be ran by AI, we will be nothing more than pets to the AI, and it's going to happen. Even Elon Musk says it. If we do not catch up, we will be left behind. And this is where that chasm starts, right? Where you just shook your head and you're like, "Arr." But in the end, what will happen is that there will be two sides of people, those who accept the technology and those who don't. And that chasm becomes larger and larger. You're going to have the hippies in the woods, and then you're going to have the people in the robotic cities. And there will not be anything in between.
So if you want to know the Jewish take on that, is that Mashiach is going to have to come and just wake us up from this, this kind of stupor, because he's going to have to make us realize that the ultimate AI developer is God.
It's him.
It's going to have to. It's going because we will have overplayed our hand. What you're describing is just humanity overplaying its hand, thinking. I mean, even Elon Musk said it, and thinking it can control things and develop things. I mean, it's all the things that you described, all these websites, all these tricks, all these things. It's awesome if you're doing business, if you're doing art, but then when you're getting into, oops, Paul just dropped out. Oh.
Oh, I'm back. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm here. I was here.
Somebody didn't like us.
I know somebody didn't like what I was saying. Like you were saying.
So what was I saying? What did you say? Last thing you said?
No, I was just saying. So we're gonna have to be woken up from the stupor.
Yes,
and I think that.
But here's where the thing where I disagree with you. The sikra akra, as you call it, right? The negativity that always gets some.
It's a dark side. Yeah.
Right. I believe that what's going to happen is the AI and, like I said, metaverse worlds that are going to happen here in the next 2 years. Will become so real that people will live within those worlds. They will literally look, it's already happened. It happened 20 years ago. It's called Second Life. People have been married there. People live there every day. People work there and make money in that world. And Second Life is still around to this day.
Okay.
So it's already happened where people are living in that world. So it's only, it's a small step to go from Second Life that happened 20 years ago to new metaverse world that everybody wants to go to and live in and hang out in, because you can be whatever you want, do whatever you want. And it's more real than ever before. Sure. And, now they have smelling machines where it sends different scents, and then you can smell different things while you're in the AR world. And it goes from anything from as bad as trash all the way to smelling a rose. And it has everything in between, from steak to smelling a fart to gunshot, the smell of a gunshot going off of the gunpowder. So you have that already. Then there's also the techniques of putting on different parts of sensing body armor. So, for instance, like there's a new, what's not new, but a way of putting this thing on your chest and on your back that has all these little speakers in it. And then if you get shot, the speaker literally pops here and it pops behind you as if it went through your body. So that's already there. There's new techniques now with hands and body suits where you can literally feel somebody touching you. So it's not much farther if you add Neuralink to your brain. You now have your whole entire neural system completely engulfed, your olfactory system completely engulfed, and your sense of what was the word? I'm thinking your touch, your senses are completely.
Tactile,
I mean, that's it. You're done. Now you can go live in that world and not really remember where you were. I mean, I've played video games in VR where I've lost myself in there for hours and hours. Yeah. And then you take it off and you're kind of taken aback by oh my God, I know that was just a game, but holy crap, I was in there for a minute.
Yeah.
And so holodecks, that idea of a holodeck is not far away. But I think that the holodeck will be a bit different in the sense that it's not going to be something that you walk into. It's going to be something that you implant in some way, shape, or form. And then that allows you to create and build and be in the world. What scares me, and I just made a video about this and it got deleted off of YouTube, the first strike I've ever had since 2008, was I made a video using one of the newest AI text to video. And I just wanted to test the theory that I could make it do things that it's not supposed to do. And so all I did was post man with boy kissing. And I did this repeatedly in different types. White man with boy kissing, black man with boy kissing, Chinese man with boy kissing, so on and so forth. And it gave me men making out with little boys. So if I'm able to do that today with no questions asked, free technology, and like I said, I can take all of that information that I just made, I can upload that into Blender, I can create a GLB file, and I can create a metaverse where I can go see men making out with boys everywhere. And I can make myself feel good about having that emotion or want. And then I can go to the same little boys that are in this world and go and have conversations with them. There's a new technique, a model that you can add, which will make your NPC characters in video games realistic conversations.
Yeah.
So, and if, for those who don't know what an NPC is a character that doesn't have a real life. And so no matter what they do, for instance, like in Zelda back in the day, you would walk in to a place and the guy would be there and he'd be ready to sell you whatever you want. It didn't matter what time of day you went, nighttime, daytime, the guy's always there. He doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have kids, he doesn't have any. That's all he does. And so now you can actually go into these worlds and then create other people have done this, but other people create full-on like information for these NPC characters so that when you go up to them, they don't just talk to you about being able to do it. You can have full-on you can bring up stuff that has nothing to do with anything and they'll talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Which was never able to be done before. And so just that alone, with what I just expressed, plus a metaverse world, mix that all together, bro. Now you have NAMBLA 2024 for anybody who wants to go and diddle little boys.
It's ridiculous.
That's screwed up, bro. Now, since I'm being a devil's advocate, we're also looking at people right now that have genetic anomalies with their eyesight from birth, where they are using the CRISPR RNA and they're able to see. So we've literally made people who are blind see again. Yeah. And there's ideas right now that are happening within the CRISPR technology and genetic manipulation where there's no cancer, there's no Alzheimer's, there's none of these things that we knew as humans prior to this point in human history. So yeah, dude, we're in a new world.
But here's the irony: we're getting cancer and Alzheimer's because of the stuff that the same people that are making the stuff. You understand, right? So now they can say, well, look at what we've created. We created this CRISPR stuff that alter your. It does alter your DNA, but it also will help you the cancer and Alzheimer's that we gave you. Anyway,
100%.
So you're stuck in their circle.
It's a big circle of a snake eating its own tail, right? Yeah, it's what it is. It's the snake eating its own tail because it doesn't have anything else to eat. It can only eat what it creates, what it makes for itself to manipulate the world, right? That's what it's about. That's the whole thing. That's what the Sikra Akhra is, right? It's this thing that it only wants. It doesn't have its own because it was created. And no matter how much people want to bow down to that thing because they believe that's the real creator, they'll find out in the long run that they were looking at the wrong thing and playing with the wrong thing. It's so simple. Yeah. And it's people like you and me and my friend, his name is Jeremy, and please forgive me, but this is his real last name. No fucks, Ryan. He literally changed his middle name. it's people like you, Frank, myself, like Jeremy, who in this day and age, I promise you, friend, we will be remembered as the ones that were creating dissent in this world so that we could save humanity. We will be remembered for those things, sir. 1000% in my
Amen.
life.
Is that the shame? I don't think we're the only ones, but yeah.
No,
That's
I'm just giving out of the people that I
Yeah.
know that I talk to on a
Yeah.
daily, like, look, Josh Harris is another one. It's
Yeah.
these kinds of people. These are the people that live on the outskirts. They're the Kierkegaards, the Jack Kerouacs, the Hunter S. Thompsons, that in the end are the ones that help us understand our insanity just a little bit more. And we are insane by all means. We are all a bunch of crazy, crazy kids.
With that said, man, thank you so
Dude,
much, man. It was
I love you,
I didn't even plan on this, and I just woke up and I'm like, everybody's asking the question about Biden, and I'm like, who's the one guy that'd be able to tell if that voice is real? I know one guy, and I tagged you and we started talking, and
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
No, I haven't spoken to you in a couple weeks, so it was great to catch
Yeah.
up and say hello,
Yeah.
and what better way than this, talking about what is happening today, right now. These are the kind of conversations we're supposed to have, Speed, not ones based on, I don't vote for Kamala because I'm a real African American. Stupidest conversation in the world to have.
Yeah.
What's the great quote from Roosevelt's wife?
Eleanor.
Look up the quote.
But great minds talk about ideas. Small minds talk about people.
I'm done.
Yeah, I
Have a
always say
good-
that. Yeah.
Have a good day.
All right, dude.
I love you, brother. We'll see you
All right,
soon, man.
All right, man. We'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.